Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel Nikisha Low Motivates for your dose of faith and life-based motivation. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell to know each time when I upload a video. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my testimony of how I made it through university. Now the three points that I want to focus on for this video are faith, prayer, and works. That is all. That is how I made it through university. Now, I started university in 2012, 2011, 2012, thereabouts. And I commenced my studies in the humanities department, but I was doing a helping profession. So when I applied to NCU, Northern Caribbean University, I had been accepted to pursue a degree in psychology. Now, when I went to orientation, I remember that I was advised that I should change my area of focus because of the lengthy process that would take for me to get to be recognized as a psychologist. So it was suggested that I pursue social work instead, and that is what I started out doing. Now in 2012, January 2012, I remember when I was in high school, I always envisioned myself being on television or being in media because I like to talk, but I like to do meaningful talking. And so I thought about doing journalism. So when I remembered that, and coupled with what social work meant to me at that time, I did not want to have a job wherein I would be bombarded with so many different cases from sexual abuse and domestic violence, substance abuse, uh, the whole works that social workers have to deal with. I did not at that time want a job wherein I was exposed to all of that. And at the time, I did not know how to separate those things from who I am as a person and not internalize those things. So I did not want it as a career because I was saying I do not want to take that home and put that burden on my family. So I decided to change to mass communication, which is what the program was called at that time. So I remember before I even applied to NCU, I completed high school, and my pastor at the time, he asked me what it was that I was going to be doing now that I had completed high school, if I was going to be going to college or university. I said no, because I couldn't afford it, neither could my family. So I told him that I would have been job hunting. So he said, no, you have to go to university. So get the application forms, fill it out, and then take it to us. We'll pray over it. You get the application fee and you will send it off. So I did that, and I needed somewhere to live, and a friend of mine was also going to be attending school, and we both would be in the same parish, which would be Manchester, Mandeville Town to be exact. And we decided to live together. She invited me to come and stay with her because she had a place that her cousin had given her permission to stay at. So I went, and I remember when I went to be registered at the main chapel, I sat in that chair, and when they asked me how much I had paid on my tuition, I told them. Matter of fact, I gave them the receipt. So I had paid $54,000 or $53,000 because my church at the time had given me $40,000 to start, and my grandmother had given me $10,000, and I had saved up like $3,000 or $4,000 because at the time, because I wasn't working, and the $4,000 were coins that I got, and I decided to put them aside. And when it got to a certain amount, I changed it into notes, and then I took it and I paid it on my tuition. So they told me that I needed to pay at least half of my total amount, which was between $200,000 and $350,000, if I'm remembering correctly. And I did not know where the remaining amount of money was going to come from, so I got discouraged, and I returned home. I went back home. I went back home, and I remember I was on Facebook one day, and a friend of mine, he reached out to me, and he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm home. I'm back in St. Elizabeth." And he said, "What are you doing there? Why aren't you at school?" And I said, "I need more money. They said that they would not register me, and so I came back home because I don't know what else to do." And he said, "No, come back to school, attend your classes until you figured out how it is that you are going to be paying for your tuition." So that was the motivation I needed, So I got up, came back to Mandeville, and I was attending my classes. At the time I was doing social work, and I remember sitting in my psychology class one day, and the teacher came in and he said that persons who had not yet completed registration needed to do so quickly because they would no longer be allowed in his class, because the deadline had passed for registration, and they were doing their final checks and their final calls to students to pay off what they owed the institution. And when that day he came in the class with a list, and he said all the persons whose names were not on that list needed to visit the finance office as soon as possible and complete their registration, or else they would not be allowed to enter the class anymore. I got nervous. I was nervous. I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh God, my name is not on that list," because I did not complete registration, and I got very nervous. And when he read the list, can you believe that my name was sitting on that list? Yes, nice and clean, sitting on that list. But who could it be but God? Who could it be but God? So anyways, when I heard my name, I got excited, and I said, all right, I got to go to finance right now. I got to go to finance. And I remember when I was walking there, I was praying in my mind. I was like, "Lord, please tell me what it is that I need to tell these people, because I do not know what to tell them. Just put the words in my mouth." And when I got to finance, they were almost getting ready to close up for the day. And I sat in there, man, and I waited. And I sat there until it was about 6 or 7 o'clock that evening. And when it was my time to go in to speak to the representative, I sat in the chair and I said, "Miss, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. All I know is that I want to be registered and that money will be paid." And she said, "Okay." Just like that, she registered me. And I got out, man. When I got out of finance, I was laughing, I was smiling, I was grinning ear to ear. I was just saying, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus." I was so elated that God had decided to, work things out in my favor. And when I said faith, I don't remember if I said this earlier in the video, I made it through university through faith, prayer, and works. No, in Hebrews 11 verse 1 it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And I tell you, I was exercising my faith. And that faith brought me all the way. No, in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17 it says, "Pray without ceasing." Listen, I was constantly praying while I was at university, because the challenges were a lot. There were a lot of challenges, mainly financial ones, and I'm going to get into that in a few. And works. No, I have written here James 2 verses 18, 20, and 26, which speaks about faith without works being dead. You can have a read of these verses that I have made mention of. I will list them in the description box below. So yes, we'll move forward with that in mind. And when I got registered, that was only one hurdle. So I was attending classes as normal, and then I really thought about it, and I said, okay, I need something else to offset the financial costs for university. And I had a friend who's also a Nikisha. Her name is also Nikisha. And she said to me that she worked at the Loss Prevention and Risk Management department on campus, aka security. And I said, all right. She said I could speak to the supervisor for you and then I will see if he could hire you. And she did. She spoke to the supervisor, Mr. Bogo, at the time, and he was able to hire me. And I started working. Those shifts were at the time 12-hour shifts. So we would start work at 7 and we would end work at 7. And at that time I was doing school part-time and I was working full-time. So I wasn't doing my full amount of credits. And when I came to realize that I was going to be doing work and I was working. I worked myself to the bone. Like I work. I remember one of my coworkers saying to me at the time, like, you need to slow down, because if you don't slow down, you're going to burn out really quickly. And like she said, I burned out after I reached I think a peak in doing that job, which I did for 2 years, right? And I remember that first year of school. After I had gotten registered, I had my examinations coming up, and I needed to pay more money. Now, by this, I still did not know where the remaining funds would be coming from. And I called my pastor at the time and I told him that I needed some money to complete registration so that I could be given my exam permit to sit my examinations. And he told me that at the time they didn't have any funds available to assist me. So I should go and speak to the representatives at finance and see how best they could assist me. I went. They said that they couldn't do anything for me. So okay, on the day of my exam, I was at home. My English exam, I remember it. I was at home and I was praying. I was like, God, you got me this far, and I know you didn't bring me this far just to leave me here. And as I was there, I got a call. No, this call made me very excited, man. Very, very excited. The person on the other end of the call said that they were calling from the National Youth Service and I had been accepted to receive financial assistance. Now, I had forgotten all about this, that I had applied for financial assistance. I had completed the National Youth Service program for about a year. It was a 6 months program. I did my 6 months, and then I was hired at one of the parish offices and I was given a contract, and I did another 6 months, which totaled it to 1 year. And I remember when I got the acceptance letter from NCU, I was still working. I had to extend my time in terms of attending university because I was still working. I put off university until the following year, which was 2011. So I stopped working with NYS in 2010. And I resigned from my job at NYS and went to NCU. So a part of the program at NYS says that you would receive financial assistance up to 3 years, not exceeding a certain amount. And when the lady told me that I had been granted financial assistance of X amount, listen, that was more than enough, more than enough that I needed to pay off what I owed and still have money left on my account. And I missed my first exam, but the other exams I was able to actually get done. And what else? I think I should break this video up into 2 parts, and then this would be part 1, as I have so many stories of how my faith got me through university and how God is just an on-time God, and He never fails, will never fail. He's been proven, tested, and tried repeatedly in my life, and He is faithful even when I am unfaithful, even when I am ungrateful. He is always faithful. His grace and His mercies are new each day. And I just want to encourage you. You are, or you may be preparing to be a university student, and you may be thinking that you do not know where the money is coming from, especially now where a lot of persons are facing unemployment, they are facing being laid off, they are facing so many different challenges, from hunger, unemployment, different issues at home. And so they may be thinking that university right now is just not possible. I just want to encourage you and let you know that if it's the will of the Father in heaven, or Abba Father, for you to attend university, then He will provide a way for you to do so. He has over 1,000 different ways that He can provide for you. So do not limit God. Put your trust in Him completely, and He will not fail you. Remember Hebrews 11 verse 1. Remember 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17. And remember James 2 verse 18, 20, and 26. This is only part 1 of my testimony. There will be a part 2, because I do not know where this video is going to stop in terms of the space on my phone. So stick around for part 2. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you believe that there is someone in your life who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. And I'll see you in the next one.